But we're back.
We're back. Well, I feel like last time I was telling a story about my couch.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah.
And like getting the guys to take it out.
Yeah, and then I got my new couch. One. Yeah, it's all coming together.
I love it.
Yeah. But there was something else I wanted to bring up is how we've lived in Astoria for quite a while now. You know,
yeah.
I've lived here for 13 years. You've lived here for like 5.
Yeah.
And we've had this discussion before where there are a few things that I have my place. Like, I like this specific bagel place. And, like, you know, you always go to this pizza place.
Right, you got your corner store.
What I've been struggling for 13 years is a nail place.
You're like Goldilocks with the nails.
I know. And I just, this is on the top of my head because I went to the nail salon today. And
the more recent one you've gone.
Yeah, this place called Dash Nails.
And it's
like under the train.
It's a Hispanic run.
No, it's not.
No, Asian.
But there was a Hispanic girl working there.
Okay.
It's like it's the diversity. There's real diversity. There's in nail salon.
But what did you say when it comes to like nail places? There's like Asian run ones. There's more Hispanic ones.
I did go to a Hispanic run one, but remember I told you that there was a tree. There was a lot of plants and there's like a lot of gnats because the plants are there, and I was like, I can't do the gnats.
I can't do it.
But it's like really Goldilocks. I feel like I have a problem with like everything.
You can't. Yeah, you're struggling to commit to one. What was your experience today? What happened?
No, I like this place a lot.
That's good.
But I can't get over the fact that like I feel like nail technicians just like want to hurt me. Like, remember when I almost burnt my foot? Like, that one guy was, like, putting boiling water in, like, the tub for the pedicure. And I was like, oh! And I'm one of those people who, like, don't say anything. So I'm just, like, burning my feet because I didn't want to say anything. But the girl I had today was, like, getting me with those little scissor things, like the cuticle cutters. Like,
but she was going deep. Like,
yeah,
and,
deep. Like, she looked like she was
Did she make that face? Super aggressive.
Yeah, like super aggressive. And I'm a pretty like I'm above 20% tipper. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
And I'm tipping to get hurt. You know?
Exactly. Yeah. Did you feel like you tipped less, or you still tipped?
I tipped like a lot. Yeah.
See, it's still
Because then they also only give you when you ask for change, they only give you 5s and 10s because they know what they're doing. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
So I had to give them like higher because like I didn't have the money, and then I wasn't gonna ask them to split the money more. You know, it's the whole thing. But I am proud of myself because I wanted a specific color, like a specific light color yellow. Mm-hmm. And the first color she put on me was like fire hydrant. Wait, no, what's like a yellow? Like yellow school bus yellow.
Yeah, not good.
And I was like, whoa, that's literally bright. I was like, maybe we could change it up. And that's like the most I stood up for myself.
Not with the high-pitched voice.
I just think that maybe that color's a little bit bright. And she's like, okay.
Fine. I mean, just going to her, I feel like what I do, because like I do acrylic, so they bring out all those little contraptions with like that like kind of power drill.
Power drill.
Every now and then they'll like nick me early on, and I kind of make like a little quick gesture, and from there they know like, okay.
Do you feel like a new thing with the power drill? Because that's like everyone's using the power drill.
It's like a power sander.
But they power sand your cuticles away now. Always. Mine, and then they nick you. Always. They always nick you with the drill.
I get like the old school scissor cut on the cuticles. I get it all. And then the sander. The power sander.
But I don't know. Dash is on its last limb with this, but we'll see.
I'm glad
so far.
You're closer to finding a place, I feel like.
Yeah. Hi everyone, I'm Melanie.
And I'm Diana.
And we're 2 queens in a
podcast. And we are 2 queens from Queens, giving you the Queens perspective. And today we are going to New York City Ferry, NYC Ferry.
Our favorite way to travel.
The only way to travel in the summer, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, to waterfront places. Yeah, you can't go everywhere with the ferry, unfortunately.
Very true. But maybe you should only go to waterfront places in the summer.
Heard it here first.
All right, so we're mainly going to focus very much on like a New York City Ferry, like the company that runs like the public city, whatever.
Yeah, present.
Yeah, present day. But I'm just going to bring us back a little bit into the history behind ferries in general. So the New York City's ferry network dates all the way back to Dutch colonial times, back when present-day Lower Manhattan was New Amsterdam. And the first ferry created was in 1642 and would go over the East River connecting New Amsterdam to modern-day Brooklyn. It was created by Cornelius Dirksen, who is reportedly the first ferryman ever.
First fireman?
Ferryman.
Yeah. Okay.
And so by 1654, the amount of ferries on the East River, the amount of services, grew so much that New Amsterdam had to pass ordinances to regulate the East River ferries. Over time, let's fast forward through English rule and now development of the U.S., like throughout that whole time, more ferry services developed over the Hudson River, the Harlem River, as well as present-day Staten Island, getting that all connected to everything else. And by 1904, there were 147 ferry services operating on New York City ferries. On New York City waters.
And that ferry services mean like docks?
Just like
routes?
So, yes,
Okay.
like different companies ran their
Okay.
ferry routes. And now I feel like in present day it's more consolidated.
Yeah.
But this was like mad little companies were
Like
running
that was
this
what
stuff.
that's what you traveled by.
Exactly.
You would boat travel. There was no subways. Mm-hmm.
Which brings us to this next thing. Starting in the early 1900s, the development of bridges along the East River resulted in ferry services operating at a loss. And the same thing happened over on the west side. The construction of the Holland Tunnel, the Lincoln Tunnel, the Hudson Manhattan Railroad, Pennsylvania Railroad, and the GW Bridge, as well as the growth of car ownership in the United States, pretty much meant that like ferries were no longer needed by the mid 20th century. But then in the 1980s, there was an uptick in ferry services via New York waterways, specifically over the Hudson, and then later on over the East River. And in 2011, New York waterways sort of made the first rebirth of the ferry on the East River, and it made 7 stops from Pier 11 to East 34th Street, also making 4 other stops in Brooklyn and Queens. And so that was sort of like the life cycle of the popularness of ferries into like not being needed back into like actually maybe this works.
Yeah.
And I just think it's so crazy. Like, I bet you like when the first ferry was made by that Cornelius dude, it was probably like, you know, when the first plane landed in like LaGuardia, it was probably like this huge deal.
Where you wanted to see, and it was like, this is a passenger ferry, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, look at this robot. Like, you know, I just think that's so interesting. And I think this ferry thing that was once like very necessary just to like make trade and to move around and to transport, now is like, of course it's used for transportation, but more so like luxurious transportation. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it makes me think of how, you know, how we grew up without technology. Then you get technology. And now we're kind of teetering back into being like, I don't want all this technology.
Yeah.
You know? And like technology is just like an advancement. Like there was like the advancement of the subway, and everyone's like, great, now I can get from point A to point B so quickly.
We don't need the ferry anymore.
And now we're like, I want the luxury of being on the water.
Exactly. I want the wind blowing in my face. And not like a dirty subway car, like fresh air.
Right, you got the fresh air, right.
It's so true, and I just think it's so interesting that like we've gotten to a place in history where there's like functional transportation and then more like luxurious transportation.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's cool.
Well, something that you didn't mention that when I was doing research on like the New York City Ferry was one of the reasons of making such a case of like needing ferries and needing like water transportation had a lot to do with 9/11. So there's actually a really heavily that I didn't even know about 9/11 with the ferry system. So 9/11 happens and all of these people are trapped in Lower Manhattan. There was all the bridges were shut down.
True.
If you were you could walk across the bridge, but like a lot of people like were so traumatized that they couldn't even walk. And all of these people, it wasn't even coordinated by it eventually started being coordinated by the Coast Guard, but people were like, we're just gonna go and pick up as many people as we can, and it was like tugboats, it was like the Staten Island Ferry, it was like police, like all these people were just like rushing to like get as many people off, and then the Coast Guard came and they started like organizing ships to just come, and 500,000 people like was like evacuated from Lower Manhattan from the Hudson and River East. Yeah.
Wow.
I had no idea.
Goosebumps.
I know.
That's amazing.
So like that I think had this big influence on 2017 being like, we need more ships in the waterway to commute people like publicly from place to place.
Yeah. It just makes sense. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it totally makes sense. And it's like a safety precaution. Like God forbid something happens in our tunnels, something happens on our bridges, there's always the boats there,
There's always the water.
We always got
we always got the water.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And we just vacationed in Fire Island where that is your transportation.
Yeah.
It's the ferry system.
It's so cool.
Run by 12-year-olds. We mentioned this in the Fire Island episode, but like the whole island's run by 12-year-olds.
Oh my God, the whole thing. It's like a bunch of 12-year-olds running an island, and it like works. It's basically like the alternate reality of like Lord of the Flies. Like, what if all these kids made it work, you know? Yeah. But I just like being by boat is super cool. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that brings us to, so actually just a little bit before 2017.
I think it was thought up in 2015, right? Yeah. Like they started having the idea of making a public ferry system.
Yeah, like I think they started like conducting studies, this and that. And then I have here in 2013, the city government officially proposed its own ferry service. So I'm guessing before this, they were all like privately run. They weren't like city affiliated. Mm-hmm. And it was announced 2 years later, 2015, yes. The tentative name, which I don't think stuck. It was going to be Citywide Ferry Service, but I like ours. NYC Ferry. That's it.
Straightforward.
Yeah, so let's condense it here. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, it kind of came out in phases. Like, it wasn't just all of a sudden the 6-8 routes that exist today. Yeah. It started with service along the East River and the Rockaways.
Yeah.
And then the Astoria.
So it started, I think it was first launched May 1st of 2017. It was introduced by the New York City Economic Development Corporation under transit access across the city waterfront community. So this is probably the only thing that I know that I could be like, wow, Bill Blasio did that. He was the one who introduced having the ferry system in his plan of like, I guess like, you know how like Zoran's like, oh, I want the free bus. Like that was like one of his things was to like create thing. Like the New York City, and he did it.
All right, De Blasio, I can't be too mad at you then.
All right, we don't need to give him claps.
Yeah.
We don't need to do all that. Yeah. But so yeah, this was to like promote more transportation in the waterways and also to help waterfront communities.
Yeah,
that like didn't have any kind of transportation system.
It's true, because like if you think about it, like even just thinking about Astoria, individuals who live along the East River, they're pretty far away from the NW line. And so this is their way of connecting neighborhoods and like job communities or job centers and like parks just together. Like if I lived on the east, like along the East River, I'd be like kind of annoyed having to walk all the way to the NW from Astoria.
Well, I was telling you that I know somebody who lives really close to Upper East Side 87 or 86. I forgot what the ferry station is over
96?
there.
It might be 96.
No, that's really high. I don't think so. I think it's like 80 something.
Okay.
Anyway, up in the Upper East Side.
Yes.
And the first stop is Astoria. So she could get here in 10 minutes. But if you went down and took you would have to take the subway all the way down and across Midtown and all the way back up in Astoria. And that's like a 45-minute subway.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. And then I know, my husband, when he lived back over in the Bronx,
you said that takes a little bit though.
He had a job over around South Street Seaport, and he was like, "Let me just try it." It's like it just made you think I think of New York City Ferry as fun out, but people use it as a commuter.
I know.
System.
I want to know people who use the subway every day. I want to hear from them.
You mean the ferries?
Yeah, what I say.
Subways.
Yeah, I want to hear from the people who take the ferry every day.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Send us a voice memo. We'll play it in our next episode.
But how you were saying that it came in waves, Astoria line actually came pretty quickly.
It was in the first wave.
It was one of the, like within the first 6 months. I did read something because I was like, I'm wondering, just a little fun fact, all of the ferries are named something. Like their name of the ship is on the side, and it's always like New York related, like Queens Bound or like something like that. And I was wondering what the first ship was.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Apparently, I think this is misinformation, but apparently it was called Rodney King, but not related to the historical happening of like Rodney King in the
like
LA
the riots.
Riots, yeah. And I'm like, why would they be? Why would he
The
be
LA.
named a New York City ferry ship?
That's so
I think
interesting.
that was, I don't know, like that information seemed inaccurate.
Yeah.
But I want to know what the first ferry name was.
I know, it'd be like New York State of Mind or the Big Apple.
Right.
One of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that would be a cool fact to know.
Yeah.
Well, now you all can just wonder.
So, if you're wondering, when the ferry system was rolled out, it was supposed to match the MTA. So, at the time, it was $275. That's how much the ferry cost. But I think the ferry loses money all the time because the amount that it would cost per person to run the ferries is like $12 or something, and it's still only $4.50.
Right.
And Eric Adams raised the price in 2022 to $4, and now 2024 it raised to $4.50.
Okay.
$4.50 still is pretty cheap to go. We were talking your Circle Line's like $25. You don't need to take that.
And you know what? The subway actually, like within the next couple months, I think is going up to $3. So it's like, whatever. I think it's fine. I mean, I don't think though. You know how like with the subway with the MTA like Metro card, you get like free rides after a certain amount. I don't think they have those kind of deals on there.
They only have a 10-pack.
Okay, and it's a little cheaper.
It's a little cheaper, yeah.
Okay. I was surprised, kind of just going stream of consciousness here, that it was an MTA run. It's run by City Experiences.
Not run by MTA.
No, yeah. No. It's run under this division called the Hornblower Group. All aboard!
They don't say that.
I know. I wish they did, though. That would be cute. But yeah, you know what, like, so just going, there's 6 current lines, if you're not aware of this. There's the Astoria route, the East River route, the Rockaway route, the Soundview route, South Brooklyn route, and then the St. George route. Then there's also these 2, like,
Seasonal.
special, like, there's the Governor's Island that I think only is on the weekends. And then there's the Rockaway Rocket.
Which we've never taken
No,
before.
but
Yeah,
my
you said it
sister
like you were
has.
so excited that you take it all the time.
I know. I wish I did. You know what I think?
I don't know if I'll ever take it. Maybe. I don't know.
Beach is a hard sell to take via public transportation. Like, unless it's literally your only option. Like you have a car right now, so it's like, well, why would we go any other way?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I guess, like, thinking about lugging all of my stuff on and off the Fire Island ferry wasn't the worst thing in the world. Like, I guess I could do it.
Yeah. Also, like, my sister who did it, we're not, like... We're kind of, like,
Can
raw
you bring
dogging.
your stuff? Like, can you
I
bring
think
a
so.
chair and stuff?
Yeah, I think so. But, like, we always, like, raw dog it on the
Yeah.
like, meaning, like, we bring a towel and a blanket and our sunscreen. But, like, I don't know, with the Tommy Bahama book bag, like...
Yeah, book bag chair.
Yeah.
Just the book
chair.
bag.
And then
no
the
chair,
umbrella.
just Tommy Bahama book bag. I'm like, what the hell are you talking
No,
about?
it's a seat chair. I mean, that makes sense. It's very functional.
Uh-huh.
I think there's a way of doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but so then they have, like, the Rockaway Rocket, which goes to, like, certain locations, and it just goes directly to Rockaway. I think it's, like, Greenpoint and Long Island City. I think those are the 2 spots.
Yeah. Well, it starts at
On the
Astoria?
Queens side.
Is that right or no?
No,
Does it start at Gantry
I think
Plaza?
you have to go to Long Island City. It doesn't start
Okay.
from Astoria.
You have to go to Gantry. Okay, that makes sense.
But, yeah, I think that's great. That's for people who want to do
For
it. It
people
seems
who need
super
it.
popular. People do it all the time.
Yeah, same thing. If you're along the East River on the Queens, you're like, why not? You know what I mean? You don't have a car. It's perfect.
Something that's really cool about the New York City Ferry is their social media page. Their social media page is popping. They always have, like, really, really funny, like, stuff that they do on there. And also, they always have, like, random celebrity stuff. Like, the Jonas Brothers were just on the ferry, and they did, like, a whole thing on there. they had a Taylor Swift listen party on all the ferries, and all the Taylor Swift fans were on the ferry, and they were like blasting Taylor Swift the whole time. That was a few years ago.
That's cute. Little
Impromptu and they do
parties.
I think they do a lot of like random advertisement for like random stuff.
Yeah.
But I thought, I love that. I love a little social media queen, you know? And like, do you ever see like the Empire State Building social media? They always like troll people and stuff.
The Empire State Building's like a personality in and of themselves.
I think that's the same as the New York City Ferry.
Nice.
Like that is why we hire a marketing team. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And I mean their website. I was at their website. I was looking at just like open jobs. Like they shout out employees on their website.
Wow,
which I think is so cool. It almost looks like a dating profile.
I was gonna say, what is
like,
that, dating? If we're anyone listening, Diana is showing the crowd the dating app on the New York City
right
Ferry.
now, New York City Ferry.
They should have like a New York City dating app where you meet on the ferry and you take a ferry subway line, and at the end of the line you decide if you want to go on a second date.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Or that you want to get off the boat together.
Imagine get off the boat together. That's so good.
And if you don't want to get off the boat, you just like wave goodbye.
Yeah.
Like it's been real.
Imagine I didn't take my dramamine and I throw up like on my date.
That would be awful. That'd be awful. That would be a telltale sign of like the guy's worth it. You know?
I was talking to Diana about this, that I've taken the ferry a lot this summer because I've had like 3 packs of Dramamine that I've gone through. Love boating, but I can't, my body doesn't, so like I have to take the medicine before.
You do have to take the medicine.
Yeah.
But it's so cool that there's medicine out there for situations like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see that there was a possible Coney Island route?
No. Is that like in the future, or that was gonna happen?
So it was proposed, and they were gonna do it, but it's been postponed indefinitely as of 2023. So we haven't heard about it for 3 years. Mm-hmm. But you know how like when we did our Coney Island episode, it was sort of like Coney Island was the Disney World of New York, and it was like the place to go. I feel like opening up a ferry to Coney Island might spring
That's really
a new
surprising that they
awakening.
never did that. And it passes Coney Island to go to the Rockaway ferry, right?
Right.
Like you have to go around that bend. So why not just stop?
Right? I would say, unless it would get just like too crowded, if like too many
I think it
people
would have to
going.
be its own. Like it wouldn't be the Rockaway line. It would have to be its own.
That's what they're saying. It would have to be its own thing.
Yeah.
And I just think it could like help make like a little rebirth for Coney Island, because as we learned last year, like we love Coney Island. It's so cool.
Yeah.
And like taking the F all the way there, it's possible, but it'd be much more like of the energy of Coney Island to take a boat there.
Part of the vibe.
I call for it.
All right.
Come on, whoever the next mayor is, you better work on the Coney Island ferry.
It's done. Well, the New York City Ferry allows bikes. It allows dogs. It allows drinking. They have a little bar.
Yeah, that sometimes isn't open.
Sometimes or sometimes doesn't. Out of the multiple times I've been there, I think maybe twice there wasn't like, because they need like not a bartender. They need someone manning that booth, and it can't be like the people who work the ferry.
Yeah.
Remember? They were like, oh, we don't do that.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
So if they don't have that person, they don't give you out the snacks and the drinks. And then I also wanted to tell you that there's Wi-Fi on the ferry. And also, the last thing I wanted to tell you was it is the largest passenger ferry in the United States with 38 vessels.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like line.
I think most boats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. Mm-hmm. That's a fun one. I have a little fun fact too.
Lay it on me.
Their 6 main routes span over 60 nautical miles of waterways.
Wow, I don't know the difference between nautical miles and regular miles, but sounds great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I figured it's the same. It's just you're talking about water.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I don't know.
I can't.
What is like when they're like due south notches? No?
Like knots?
Yeah, knots.
I think that has to do with speed.
Wind and
how quickly you're going.
Yeah.
Like we're at
like that's
blah, blah,
miles
blah,
per
knots.
hour.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. That's miles per hour. So they say knots.
We should learn more about boats.
Yeah, we
should get into the boating game.
Like that.
Why don't we tell some of our experiences on the boat? We've taken it multiple times.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think it's silly to do any sort of sightseeing like cruise ship when you have the New York City Ferry.
don't do it. Just do the New York City Ferry. You won't regret it.
You won't.
And the app is so easy. And on the app, you literally can see where the boats are. Like, it's the only, like, GPS, like, transportation system available in New York City. Like, you could see, like, oh, it's coming the dock.
It's literally coming. Yeah, I think I've like recently found a bus one, but like I feel like the ferry one was the best,
the most accurate.
They're just like most on top of it.
And the people on the ferry are so nice. Like, they will wait for you to like a certain extent. Like, if you're like, oh, my friend's like, I was running to the ferry in like one of the episodes we were talking about.
Yeah.
And like, they did wait. Like, they're not the meanest people.
No.
You know, there's definitely meaner transportation people.
Yeah, like I waved it down and then like they waited. However, like, they didn't wait long. You got there pretty quick. Yeah. But like
they won't wait like an hour.
Yeah. But you know, like the bus driver will just close the door on you. I feel like they wouldn't do that. They'd be like, all right, walk the plank.
Walk the plank over here, kiddo.
Walk the ramp up, you know. Yeah, I just love it, and I just think it's like, it's so funny because every time I take the New York City Ferry, I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna record videos. Like, I've gotten so many of them, but I really just can't. You can't help
it. You can't help it. It's so beautiful. Like,
Such good views.
It's such good views.
Yeah.
And we always find ourselves on the sunset cruises that you can't help it.
Plan it, guys. Look up when sunset is, and like you get a free sunset cruise, like for $4.
There was, I think my favorite memory of the ferry was, we were out all day and we were like, let's take the ferry back home. And I was like, Diane, I'm out of Dramamine, but like, let's see if I could do it. And we made it 2 stops. And I looked over and my face is green. I'm like, Diane, if I don't get off this ferry right now, I'm going to throw up.
I can't do it. And you were like, would you be mad? And I was like, no, I wouldn't want you to throw up on the boat.
And then ended up being such a blessing in disguise because we found that random diner with the fun people at the Gemini Diner.
That was so much
fun. The lucky
fun.
Workers at the Gemini Diner.
And then
it was just the great end of the night.
It was. And then we just took the train home, right?
I think we took an Uber.
Did we? Oh, I think we did.
Yeah, I think that was the end of our road for
you know what? That's when we went to that hotel, that really cool hotel.
And the one that was on the roof. We went to the rooftop.
Yeah.
We did a couple of things. I went to Little Island.
That was a good day. That was fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say anywhere, any warm weather day, look at the schedule, plan a trip. Super fun.
Yeah. That means we're leaving the dock.
We're leaving the dock.
All right.
Peace out.
2 queens out.